My name is Eleanor. Eleanor May Whitfield. I'm 77 years old, and I'm sitting here today not because I've got some big thing to say, but because I've been holding it in for way too long. And honestly, the holding is starting to mess with me in ways I can't quite put my finger on. So I turned this thing on, and I'm just gonna talk. I spent most of my life being the go-to person. That's what I was, the go-to. I cooked, I hauled people around, I kept track of birthdays that everybody else spaced on. I showed up to things I wasn't even invited to because I could just tell somebody needed a warm body in that room, somebody who genuinely gave a darn. I was real good at that, giving a darn. And for the longest time, I thought that was the same thing as being loved back. It ain't. There was a woman I worked alongside for 11 years. Her name was Patricia. We did lunch together almost every single day. I knew her kids' names, knew about her mama's health going downhill, knew the way her marriage was falling apart piece by piece. When I retired, she handed me a card, signed it warmly, Patricia. I haven't heard a peep from her since. That was 9 years ago. I'm not salty about it. I want to be straight with you about that. I'm really not salty. But I do keep coming back to that word she used, warmly. Like sitting near somebody's fire, close enough to catch the heat, but never actually invited in. My son lives about 4 hours out. He rings me on Sundays, sometimes. He's slammed. He's got his own kids now, a job that just takes everything out of him. And I get that. I genuinely do. But I remember when he was 8 years old and he had a fever that scared both of us half to death. And I sat right next to his bed the whole night with a cold cloth on his forehead. Didn't sleep a wink. Just sat there, watching him breathe, making sure he was okay. He doesn't remember that night. Why would he? He was 8. He was out of it. But I remember every single hour. And I think that's the thing nobody's straight with you about when it comes to pouring yourself into people. You hang on to everything, and they hang on to almost nothing. That's not them being cold. That's just how this whole thing works. I had a sister, Ruth. Ruth and I were thick as thieves for most of our lives. Then we had a falling out. Something about our mama's house after she passed, and we went nearly 6 years without saying boo to each other. 6 years. Then Ruth got sick, and I hauled myself over to her place, and we sat in her kitchen and drank coffee and didn't bring up the house at all. We talked about being little girls together. We talked about our mama's hands, the way she'd hum under her breath while she did the dishes at night. Ruth passed 14 months after that visit. I think about those 6 years sometimes, just gone. What we threw away in them. What I could have held on to if I hadn't been so dead set on being right. I was right, by the way, about the house. Doesn't mean a thing now. There's a particular kind of lonely that sneaks up on you later in life. It's not loud. It doesn't make a scene. It just moves in, slow. Like dust on a shelf you quit reaching for a long time ago. One day you look up and realize that most of the people you poured yourself into have just moved on. Not because they're bad folks, but because life keeps rolling, and you were a chapter, and the book didn't stop for you. And you're still here, still gripping that chapter. I gave my best years to a job that had somebody else in my chair inside of 3 months. I gave my best energy to friendships that fizzled out so slow I didn't clock it until they were long gone. I gave my best patience to my kids when they were little, and by the time they were grown and out the door, I was running on empty in a way I didn't even have words for, and what I kept back for myself was next to nothing. I'm not looking for anybody to feel sorry for me. That's not what this is. I'm saying it because I think somewhere along the line, I just got so wrapped up in being needed that I flat out forgot to figure out what I needed. And now I'm 77, and some mornings I sit in this chair by the window and I try to recall the last time somebody sat with me the way I sat with people. Really sat. No rush, nowhere else to be. It's hard to pull up. I don't know what I was expecting, if I'm being real. I think I had this thing humming underneath everything. This belief that if I gave enough, it'd circle back around. Not like I was keeping score. I wasn't doing the math on it. I just believed in some kind of pull, like love you put out there would find its way home eventually. Maybe it does. Maybe I just don't have the patience left to wait on it. Or maybe some of it just drifted on out past where I could reach. If you've stuck around this long, you probably know this feeling in your bones. Maybe you're smack in the middle of it right now, giving and just hoping something finds its way back. I'm not going to tell you to quit. Giving's not the wrong move. But maybe don't leave yourself out of it. Not down the road, not when things chill out a little. Because I kept waiting for things to chill out. And now it's quiet. And now it's still. And I sure wish I'd figured out way back when how to show up for myself the way I showed up for everybody else without a second thought. My name is Eleanor. I'm 77, and I just needed somebody to hear this. If it hit something in you, if something I said brought somebody to mind or stirred up something you've been sitting with, drop it in the comments. I read every one of them. It's something, honestly, knowing somebody's out there listening.